Hey guys, this is Robert with Malati Law Firm. We help entrepreneurs just like you start their businesses without dealing with complicated legal forms. We are also the #1 highest rated business law firm for entrepreneurs with more than 1,400 5-star Google reviews. Today we are going to talk about how to add or remove members from your LLC. As a business owner, I am sure that you understand that the unexpected happens, and sometimes you will have to make the decision to add or remove a member from your LLC. In this video, I am going to talk about the steps that you must take to add and remove a member from the LLC. Each state has different requirements, so it is important to check with your state of incorporation. However, generally, these steps apply to all states. So the first thing you must do is find your operating agreement and change it. When you first registered your LLC, you should have created or been provided with an operating agreement if you hired a company to incorporate your LLC. In this document, there is a list of the managers and members of the LLC. This document should have been signed by all of the members of the LLC. So when you plan to add or remove a member from your LLC, you must locate this document and reflect the change in ownership you plan to initiate. The operating agreement is an internal document and does not need to be submitted to the state, so there is no need to send this document into the state. All you have to do is update the operating agreement to reflect the change in ownership and have everyone involved sign the new operating agreement. It is also important to also look at the operating agreement to see what it says about adding or removing members. If there are specific procedures set forth in the operating agreement regarding how to do this, then you must follow these procedures. If there are not procedures set forth in the agreement, then you must follow the state's procedures. The LLC laws of all 50 states are based on the Uniform Limited Liability Company Act. Additionally, if a member is being removed from the LLC, then he or she must submit written notice of the withdrawal if they are willing to do so. Of course, you generally can't just remove a member from an LLC without an agreement from that member. If the member is unwilling to do so, then the remaining members can offer a buyout in exchange for the interest in the company. If the member is not willing to accept your buyout offer, then the best option is to go to court and battle things out there. Now, if you want to add a member, then you must add the member to the operating agreement and have all of the members and managers sign the new operating agreement. It is also smart to have the document notarized. In addition to simply amending and signing a new document or operating agreement to reflect the additional member, you may also need to notify your Secretary of State. Some states will require that you notify the state of any significant changes in ownership. However, this is not very common. Additionally, sometimes an investor in the LLC will want to ensure that his ownership is public record and be sure that he is listed as a member of the LLC. In these cases, you can sometimes notify the state of the amendment by filing the annual report early and including the change in ownership in the annual report. If you've already filed the annual report, then you should contact the state to determine how to amend the annual report to reflect the change in ownership. Most states will not have a template for this, and you'll have to write manually what changes have occurred. This is not necessary, however. Sometimes a new member will want this to be done and have added protection and ensure that the ownership structure is publicly recorded. Additionally, if this is not sufficient and you want to go one step further, you can contact the Secretary of State to amend the Articles of Organization to reflect the change in ownership. Another point I want to make is that it is important to notify your bank. Your bank typically wants a list of all of the current members of the LLC. So if you are adding a member or removing a member, it is important to inform your bank of the changes. Last point I want to make is to consider changing the responsible party that is associated with the EIN. When you registered your LLC, you had to have obtained an EIN from the IRS. When getting the EIN, you told the IRS the name of a responsible party that will be associated with the EIN. If the member that is being removed was listed as a responsible party connected to the EIN, then it is important to notify the IRS and change the responsible party for the EIN. So overall, if you are adding a member to your LLC, then you must update your operating agreement and have all members and managers sign the new operating agreement. You may also be required to or choose to notify the Secretary of State of the change in ownership. Now, if you are removing a member, then you must get permission from this member and follow the procedures set forth in your operating agreement. It is important to also contact an accountant to determine whether there are tax obligations and consequences that are associated with adding or removing a member of your LLC. So, if you're an entrepreneur looking to add or remove a member from your LLC, then click on the link below to schedule a free consultation with us. During the phone call, we will be able to discuss the procedures and paperwork necessary to reflect the change in ownership, and we will hold your hand throughout the process. So go ahead and click on the link below.